this astonishing scoop last night, Krishnan, which goes really to the very, very heart of that digital campaign team that many people fear exercised quite a malign influence over the American election in 2016. What was the sort of the meat of the revelation?
Well, the meat of the revelation is that we've got hold of the database that was used by the Trump campaign in the 2016 presidential election. This is a database of almost 200 million voters. It contains astonishingly detailed information, everything about opinions, hobbies, where you spend your money, where you go, whether you're likely to be planning a baby this year, whether you own a dog, what you think about key issues. And what we've established from going through the database, because it's sort of a deciphering job, is that they classified all these 200 million voters into different groups of different levels of Trump and Hillary Clinton in 2016 support. And so last night what we wanted to reveal was that they categorized a huge group of Americans who they knew they couldn't convert into Trump supporters into a category called Deterrence, where the aim was to deter them from voting at all. Now, black people were, you probably won't be surprised to hear, disproportionately represented in that deterrence group. So about 3.5 million black Americans were targeted using Facebook advertising and other social media channels to try and deter them from voting. So what they would do is they would feed this data into Facebook, create tailored adverts to try and hit the issues that people care about. And so that was our first revelation. Obviously, it's a massive database, and so we are unpicking it and working out what it means. We've got more tonight where we'll be concentrating on the reactions of white voters who were regarded as persuadable. They weren't Trump supporters, but they were regarded as persuasion, to see how they are responding to the current Trump campaign, particularly on law and order.
It's astonishing stuff, isn't it? And it's confirmation of what was reported, stroke feared, with whistleblowers talking about the amount of data that the campaigns were using that had been harvested from Facebook. But it doesn't prove, of course, that people were persuaded by the campaign to act in a specific way, does it?
No, you can't say exactly why people behave in a particular way, but you can examine the motives of the people who are planning the campaign and say, well, how democratic is it to try and get people to not take part in a democratic event? Is that in the spirit of the democracy that we have? I think when you look at actually the detail, we all kind of have an idea that there's data on us and that people know stuff about us. But when you actually look at the level of detail and then you go and find the person who is on the list and you say, well, look, here's your data. Did you know that this is what they think about you and this is how they manipulate you? Yes. And when you see that ad in your Facebook feed, it's not there randomly. It's there because they know these are the things that will tug on your heartstrings and appeal to your emotions. And I think once you reveal that, then people see it in a new light. And
they wouldn't spend £44 million on Facebook ads alone during the 2016 campaign if they weren't fairly confident that it yielded significant results.
When you talk to people, they all kind of react the same way people do about advertising at home, and you say, do you realize this was targeted at you so that you didn't vote? And you didn't vote. So maybe it had something to do with it. And they go, well, I can see how it would have influenced some people, but it wouldn't have influenced me. And you go, well, are you sure? How can you say that? These are sophisticated techniques. And I think, nobody acts on one thing, but a composite of lots of different things push you a particular way. And it's just about awareness.
What's a dark post?
A dark post is a thing that was very important in the 2016 campaign, which was a post that would appear in your Facebook feed but then disappear. And so you can't go back and track them. Facebook now have a thing, sort of an ad library where you can see what the ads are on the social network. But to go back to 2016, there were all sorts of ads that went across Facebook, on the election and, possibly on Brexit as well, that you just can't track down because they were dark. They went dark, literally.
And I mean, the words can be...
And Facebook won't reveal them. I mean, obviously they could.
Can they? But that's what I don't understand. Will they be somewhere, but they're not publicly available? But Facebook could, if they so chose, reveal them.
Well, I mean, not being inside Facebook, it's hard to be, certain. But does anything that you do anywhere on the internet ever get deleted? I don't think so. If you just look at where an email gets saved along the way between you sending it, the idea of these things just not existing anymore seems unlikely.